All right, welcome into our digital platforms. We are happy to have you here and provide some more updates. You may notice I am now joined by First Alert Meteorologist Vaughn Gaston. Vaughn, you were here late into the night. Hopefully got some rest, which is the important part.
Yeah, I got a little rest.
I love it. Well, we're happy to have you back with it. Just kind of want to start with a little synopsis of what we're seeing and what we are expected to see as well.
Yeah, well, of course, overnight, things really got going. This morning, we are still seeing some of those blowing snowflakes. We're seeing some of that freezing drizzle still going on out there. That's what the pink shading is on here. And right now, I'm showing you some of that freezing drizzle along with the temperatures because we're at 27 now in Columbia. I want to say our wake-up temperature this morning was about 24. So we're seeing some progress with our temperatures. Of course, we want to see more, but the temperatures are slowly going up. Still seeing some light snowflakes out there, maybe a little sleet in areas to our north, but generally still looking at frozen precipitation out here. It is not accumulating a whole lot, but the smaller amounts still have to be respected. So what are the winds doing? Not as bad as they were yesterday. They are calm in several spots, but again, still seeing that light rain, more of a mist and some snowflakes kind of blowing out there. As we look at the wider view, you can see what we're still waiting for, and we're anticipating what is back towards Atlanta to head towards this way. Right now, they're starting to get the first round because the cold air is still in place for them. So they're getting more of kind of like a sleet, freezing rain mixture. And after that, they're going to get the heavy rain pushing through where the low pressure is. That has to sweep through, and then that's what will be moving in for us over the next couple of hours. It's doing a great job of showing us where that cold air is as we look at these temperatures. So you can see where that deep blue color is. That's where that cold air is still spilling in from the north. And so we're at 27 and Atlanta's at 34, but then you can see where the warm front is putting us at about 46 or 48 there in Birmingham. So it's like a little warm tongue. That's what we have a hard time explaining to people. You just get a little bit of warm air and it changes the forecast totally. And then look at Jackson, Mississippi. They're at 33, which is similar to the temperature we have in Atlanta. So that's how that one little push of warm air just kind of comes in and it changes everything. If it wasn't for that little warm tongue, I mean, we'd have all snow everywhere across the deep south.
And we've been talking so much about freezing rain and freezing drizzle, but with this kind of kind of gust of warm air, that's kind of creating the rain, the traditional rain that we might see, right?
Right. That is what we're going to see a little bit later. And in addition to that, they actually have thunderstorm warnings coming out of that line of rain that I just showed you from that low and that front. So they may be dealing with a little severe weather on the backside. Can you imagine getting snow one day and then severe storms the next day? This is what they're going to be dealing with in parts of the deep south. And so probably like Birmingham and parts in southern Alabama and southern parts of Georgia, they're probably going to get some severe weather this afternoon. So that same line will be moving in for us. And we're still watching because, of course, we want to get to the game. At 1 o'clock, we will have some light to moderate rain, maybe a little more of those snowflakes and that mist still falling. You have to be super, super careful on these area roadways because I'm seeing some slick spots. We're still below freezing. 28 is what we'll be at 1 o'clock. Still below freezing at 3 o'clock. So with that tip-off being at 3, it could still be frozen in some areas. We just have to, be super, super cautious since they are going to play it. And I mean, you can stay home and watch it safely from the couch.
That's right. ESPN, 3 p.m. So if you do have tickets to go, definitely factor in time. I mean, we are getting, less than an hour until game time right now. So would need to be on your way. But again, like Vaughn said, if you can stay home, you can watch it on ESPN. And that's definitely another option. Because talking about on the backside of it, Vaughn, then with that potential rain and people moving on, would the rain create maybe a way to melt the ice that's already there, or does it create more issues by being something that could refreeze overnight?
That's where the issue is, the refreeze possibility. Now, I don't want anyone to let the guards down, but Adam Clark and I have been kind of looking at the forecast, and right now I'm showing you the gust. I'm going to actually move forward so I can show you some of the temperatures that we're tracking. We know that that push of rain is going to come in. We have that set. We see it back in Georgia. We know it's moving in. So with that, I'm going to show you this one with our temperatures on here. So here we are with where we are now, just kind of the light rain, a little bit of that misty snowflakes kind of flying around. Then we get to about 4 o'clock. this is when we start to see a little bit of liquid rain coming in, because at this point, we're expecting your temperatures to start to be anywhere from 33, 34, so just above freezing, just enough to get us a cold rain that's not frozen. So it's just enough above freezing. So this continues. We see this into about 6, 7, and 8 o'clock.
Okay.
This will not have the opportunity to run off, dry up, melt away before tomorrow morning. The only good news is, we were talking about that warm tongue, that warm little pivot that's in there.
Yes.
That comes in with it.
Okay.
So it does take the temperatures up a little bit as it comes in. That does not mean you should let your guards down for Monday morning, though, because 1 or 2 slick spots is all you need. I am looking at your temperatures going up to the middle to upper 30s late this evening now. Not when the rain is really coming in, but probably just after. We could see your temperatures in those upper 30s to 40s. And I was actually going to show you what the roads are looking like right now. And so the last thing you would want is to hit a slick patch.
Right. And the conversation around black ice has kind of entered. So kind of explain how that happens and why, even if we are on, some of these schools are on delays, and if you are traveling tomorrow, Monday, first day of work, if you have to go, the dangers there, and how, like you've been saying, we're not out of the woods yet, still need to be cautious.
Absolutely. And so when it comes to the buses for the morning commute, as you well know, buses start 5:30, 6 a.m. getting on the roads. We would hate for a bus with kids on it, or just a driver, and an attendant, to be the first thing out on the roads in the morning. Throughout the course of the night, even with that rain we were talking about, some of it may produce gusty winds. A smaller tree could fall. Maybe not a big tree, maybe a smaller tree. Regardless, there could be a tree over a roadway. You would hate for that bus loaded with kids to be the first one to approach that area that morning. And so it's best to give it a delay, let the emergency personnel get out there, assess the roads, see if we did have any slick spots, especially if that bus has to go over a bridge. If it's in a rural community, they probably didn't have any salting on some of those roads, those secondary roads. So there are so many factors in there, and it certainly would be better to be cautious than to be sorry later.
Right. Err on the side of caution. I know we're checking out the traffic cam right now, and there are some cars on the roadway. We do want to actually let you know about some road closures that the Columbia Police Department had reported. Elmwood Ramp to Hugie Street and North Main Street at I-20. Columbia Police was saying they had shut these down because of heavy ice accumulation. So, of course, we'll continue to update you as we learn more if they reopen. But for now, just if those are on your routes, if you do have to typically use those road areas, just be careful and absolutely kind of rework your route if you have to go that way.
And I'll just point out, look at how different those are. I mean, North Main Street is way down North Main. Of course, we know Elmwood is right up the street from us. Just 2 roads. And I mean, they're a good ways apart. So you don't know which roads are going to have the problems.
No, and that's another thing we were talking about really throughout the morning is obviously bridges and on-ramps and, those areas that freeze first. It can be really dangerous, and we got a lot of those kind of in the Columbia and the Midlands area. So it is something that, you just got to keep in mind if you are traveling.
And you can't, you can't just kind of get complacent, because I have a 4-wheel drive vehicle.
Okay.
I drive a 4-wheel drive. I still slid off the road in ice about a year ago when we had the stuff last year. So it can still happen. Don't think, oh, my truck is the biggest, it has the best tires. You can still slide off the road.
Yes.
If that ice is in the right places and you're driving at a higher rate of speed and not able to catch control and catch traction with that car.
That's a good reminder. If you are driving, obviously be cautious, and then give yourself space between cars, because like you said, it takes one little patch, one wrong move to create a lot of problems.
Yeah. All right. So we're looking at some of those roadways. Again, if you are trying to pack it up and try to get down to the game, drive very slowly, very cautiously, or stay at home and watch it. But we do see just kind of some flurries out there now. Freezing drizzle is still a possibility. Temperatures are still below freezing. So let's make sure we're watching that. We're still below freezing. We're not above freezing yet. Once that little batch of rain comes in here, that's going to help to warm us up. if you will, warming up the atmosphere. Still going to be cold for everybody else. You'll still need that heater on high. You still need it.
All right, and that is good to know. And kind of speaking of other closures real quick before we move off of the traffic camera network, but Comet, they are suspending some of their services. So obviously there's no fixed route right now. DART service is suspended and service on the USC Transit as well. And then as far as tomorrow goes, they are operating on a 2-hour delay. Some other updates I do want to let you guys know about in regards to school changes. We have heard a few new developments with that. So for e-learning on Monday, we have Richland 2, Gray Collegiate, Lexington 3 and 4, and Lexington Richland 5, Newberry, Kershaw, Sumter, Fairfield County School Districts as well. Now, Gray Collegiate e-learning and Lexington 2 e-learning and Lexington 4 e-learning. Those are some we just learned about, in the last hour, if even. So those are new developments there. Other school changes that we do want to remind you of: Richland 1 schools offices will be closed. Saluda County is operating on a 2-hour delay. Orangeburg, this is a new one as well. They are also operating on a 2-hour delay. And Lex 1, as far as we know right now, they are on a normal schedule. But of course, if we hear anything different, we will update you guys. But definitely, like we were talking earlier about the buses and even operating on 2-hour delay, be cautious whether you are taking the bus, whether you are dropping your own kiddos off at school. Just be cautious on the roads.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
All right. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we'll be joining you guys in an hour to provide you updates, any new developments, whether that is weather related or any news and updates. We're going to be joining you guys on all of our streaming platforms. And of course, we have everything posted on our website. You can find a whole list of resources and updates. Our team does an incredible job to keep that updated. Our weather team as well, staying on top of this. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you here in just a little bit.